Hello, I am the Scatman, Doobie-Doo-Doo. Today is another review recap looking at the last 10 games I've reviewed in one video, just giving you a brief outline of what I thought of them. Today, this last 10 has been a good last 10 actually, one of the best I think, so let's crack on without any delay. Okay. First one was Outfoxed, or the lowest ranking one, the last 10 was Outfoxed, which is a family deduction game in which you are cooperatively trying to work out which fox is the thief. Each fox card has a number of different items on it, and on your go you're rolling dice to decide whether to reveal more suspects or to go and get a clue. The clues go into this clever plastic contraption and it tells you whether the thief is wearing this item or not, so it's really good for children to learn deduction. There's a little bit of an element of a Yahtzee roll mechanic. You have to roll eyes if you want to reveal suspects, and you have to roll feet if you want to move around the board to a clue. And every time you don't roll either of those, the fox thief moves down a track and it will eventually get away. Very easy, but very good. Brings children into deduction, basic deduction elements, and teaches them that well. I gave that a 6.5. Next was Fast Track, which is a dexterity game where you have a board. It's for 2 players. You have 5 discs on each side of the board, and there's a wood thing with a little hole in that the discs fit through, and you're basically flicking via elastic that's attached at the back of the board. Excellent description. I'm sure you can all picture this. You're trying to flick your discs onto the other person's side and have all 10 discs on one person's side. Quick, easy, especially when you can actually see what it looks like. I gave that one a 7, quick, easy game. Next is Flip City, which is a deck building game. I gave this a 7.3. You know I love my deck building games. This one's very clever. It has double-sided cards and it's not always an upgrade, but there's a different ability on the back, and you can either buy new cards from the market or flip cards or send. Sometimes when you flip a card, you'll send it into your opponent's stack when it's a really bad one, that sort of thing. The only thing stops it perhaps getting higher is the difficulties you then have with double-sided cards of shuffling and not seeing what's coming next. If you shuffle them and drop them, which surprisingly has happened a lot because people tend to try and shuffle them under the table, so they're not cheating. They try to shuffle them under the table, oh dear. So they're not cheating, and then they can't see what they're doing and they drop and they can't remember which sides which cards are on. So practicalities on that one, but really interesting deck builder. There is a expansion for that as well. Next is Kumo Hogashaw with a 7.5, which is a abstract game and one of the most well-produced games I've seen, especially for the price. I honestly don't know how they do it really. Essentially at the minute it's a symmetrical game, but when they release expansions it will become asymmetrical. You're trying to push the stone of balance into your opponent's area, and you do that with an army of 6 cubes. I would say dice, but you never actually roll them. Each side has a different ability, and on your go you get 5 actions to turn dice round, to use their ability to rescue any of your cubes that have been captured. And the big trick of it is the main board spins, and every go, one of your actions, you must spin it 90 degrees. So you can work really hard to get the stone of balance across the board, but your opponent can just spin the board twice, 180 degrees, and now it's nearer your end. So it's really clever, a kind of push and pull mechanic there that comes in from this rotating board. Kumo Hogashaw. Check that one out if you like abstract games or just like well-produced games. Smash Up, I took a look at Smash Up. I have a few Smash Up bits and pieces. I have the big geeky box with the geek deck, the main core set, the not the cease and desist one, the It's All Your Fault, and the science fiction one with the shapeshifters. So I had a look at that, had a look at the game. I enjoy the game. I appreciate it's not for everyone. There is, especially with more than 2 players, quite a lot to keep track of. And I also gave a link in that review to some mats you can print off for the bases. But essentially each go you're trying to capture bases by playing a minion and an action from your deck, which is made up of 2 factions. So you might smash pirates and ninjas together. You might smash sharks on tornadoes. Yes, you can do that together. And then you're using those cards. Often you get more than one move. You get more than one minion or action through the powers of the cards. Quick to play with 2 players, certainly. Maybe not so with more than 2. And the only downside is, like I say, keeping track of everything that's on a base and how the scoring changes really helps with those mats that you can print out. Smash Up 7.6. Greedy Groblins got a 7.9. That is a game from Richard Garfield, which is a real-time tile picking and placing game. But you're not placing them to make a path, you're placing treasures. So you're picking up tiles which are face down at the same time as everyone else, putting them onto these various mines that are out, and at some point you're going to claim one of those mines. The catch being that dynamite in limited supplies, in supplies of 1 or 2 in a mine, is really good. It doubles or triples your score, but any more than that and you lose that mine. So you're kind of deciding, do I put dynamite on that one that I think my friend's going to take, or do I just build myself up a gem one, but then someone might come in and steal it. So it's not quite as fast as some real-time ones, because there's kind of considering what are other people doing. Plays really well, really quick. My biggest complaint was some of the component choices. For example, if you are in a mine which blows up, you lose 5 coins, but the only denominations are 1s and 10s, which makes it a bit more fiddly, because you're either having to change a 10 or count out 1s, and in a game that's all about speed, that does slow it down. So that can't be ignored, really. And then a few other design choices that kept it from being better for me. Next was Karuba, which, if you watch Channel OC, I did a live Karuba event for Harbour. Karuba, excellent game. Almost anyone can play it. Almost everyone enjoys it. There's been some questions about how much legs it's got, but for me it's just one that you can come out, you can play a couple of games of really quickly, you can put it back, you can come back to it a week later and still enjoy it, or you can come back to it a month later and still enjoy it, and that'll be in my collection for a long time. My son loves it, he's 6, he often beats me at it. Just a great game, Karuba 8. Also with 8 is Happy Pigs, which is basically an economic game about a pig farm. You're all pig farmers. The thing I like about this is the way that actions work. So each round, and there's 16 rounds, sounds like a lot, but unless you have analysis paralysis, people taking a long time to make decisions, it does go quite quickly. So each round you have a set amount of actions, a set amount of times that each action can be taken, and you're only allowed to choose one of those actions. So if there's 10 feeding actions and you choose feeding and no one else does, you get all 10 to yourself. However, if someone else chooses it and someone else chooses it, you share those actions among everyone who's chosen it. So there's some real strategy there. I like it a lot. It makes sense to me. The rules are clear. The order you follow is clear, and it just makes for a really good game. I've really enjoyed playing. So that's Happy Pigs, another 8. Then we come to 2 of the best games I've reviewed, actually. These are my top scores of any games I've reviewed so far. I think we're up to about 41 games I've reviewed. These are my top 2 score-wise. The first is a deck building game called Paperback, which is Star Realms meets Scrabble, and somehow this works. I'm surprised it hasn't been done before in some ways, but essentially you're using your basic deck to spell words, and then you use those words to buy better letters, and then build better words to score more points. But it just works really well. You can't just buy letters on what the powers are, because you need to know that they're gonna mesh with the letters you've already got in your hand or in your deck. So it works really well. I love what has come out of it's Tim Fowers who does this. I love what the games that he's done, and Paperback is no exception to that. And my best game of the last 10, and my best game probably of all time at the minute, is 50 First State, which gets a 9.5. Just love this tableau, efficient machine building game. So essentially you have a player board, and you're building locations, which are cards onto that board that do different things. They produce resources for you, which then you want to turn into contract tokens, which will let you build more locations, we let you make deals, you can flip the cards over to get more resources, but you don't get victory points then, so there's decisions to be made. The goes should go really quickly, because although you can take a lot of actions and you keep going to your pass, you only take one at a time, then the next person does one, then the next person, the next person. So it works well at all player counts as well, and I just always have fun playing this. I haven't even used the expansions in the master set yet, and I'm still seeing different cards that have either been discarded from a game we've played, or just been on someone else's and I haven't noticed them. And just really like the way this one works. Again, really good production. The wooden tokens are all different shapes, representing what they are. And just the last time I played this had a really good final go, where I just kept on building. Everyone else had passed, and I was in second place, but I just had such a good hand, and I built such a good machine on my tableau, a tableau that gave me loads of resources, which then gave me loads of tokens to build more. I could upgrade some, and I was just slowly getting point. Every time I played a card, I was getting another point till I crept up and won the game. So that's 50 first state. 9.5 for that one. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice. We'll see you next time with another review.